Hello, everybody. My name is Val with L&M Custom Builders, and I have with me Becca. You want to introduce yourself?
My name is Becca Miller, L&M Custom Builders.
This is episode 2 of our podcast. First one we did with Sam. If anybody watched that, if not, go back and watch it. She is 50% owner, and I am 50% owner of L&M Custom Builders. We're based out of Sutherland, Oregon, if you don't know. The reason why we started doing this podcast is just to give everybody kind of an idea of what L&M Custom Builders does and who we are, what we're thinking, how we're doing the things we're doing. I did want to invite the other owner of the company on just to kind of give her view of what L&M looks like, which is a pretty good one. So if just to get us kicked off, what would you, if you were to give your spew to the world about L&M Custom Builders
is? All right. Yeah. Well, my 30-second elevator pitch is L&M Custom Builders is a general contractor specializing in custom homes, led by a team of apprentices, journeyman carpenters, and a fabulous office staff.
Perfect. What is your role in the company?
My role is human resources and bookkeeper, and I would say a little bit of project management. I think that we all share the roles of project management and work with that really well. A little bit of, CFO, a little bit of COO when you're not. I feel like we really share that role a lot.
Yeah, you're right. You said HR.
Human resources, so that's...
What would that look like if you worked here? What does HR look like?
Well, there's a lot to HR, right? That maybe people don't know. Hiring and firing processes and documents and processes. Then there's, data tracking with employees, keeping their time and keeping that for other agencies, right? Our insurance wants to know what they're doing all the time. So I have to file those reports. I have to, show up for those audits. We pay per, if a guy's up on a roof, we're going to pay more insurance for that guy up on the roof than the guy inside laying some flooring. So we have to make sure all that information's kept accurate. And so I make sure that that's, we have systems that do that, and I've, looked through and found the ones that are going to work best for our company. We've gone through a few different ones. We have employee files with everything that, start date, job expectations, disciplinary files, and also kudos files. So we have the job development file, which is, the history of employees. I also make sure people get paid, and, try to come up with other opportunities for the staff. Recently we implemented the legal shield, so our employees have access to, a lawyer when they might have to have something come up. So that's a little HR. I'm not sure. I feel like we got that dialed in pretty good, and that's kind of just running on itself now. I just plug and play mostly that, but it did take about a year to get that really, really dialed in.
Right. I mean, I think even other people on the internet can talk about systems all day long. But yeah, I feel like we got that pretty dialed down too. I feel, as of now, we just need more time under tension, just to get more KPIs on that kind of stuff. But okay, interesting. What kind of project management roles do you play?
Oh boy. Well, I stepped into this position. I mean, into the company. I've always been an owner, a half owner, but I had a W-2 job that I worked up until 2024. But so when I stepped into the company, I came on in the middle of a custom home, and I did what I could to help finish that job. And then we rolled right into another one. And I wanted to set the standard of service that we're giving our customers. So, I meet with the client once a week, make sure that the progress is, we walk the job, we talk about things that are coming up. That way that there's really like a expectation, or there's no surprises is what I'm trying to eliminate. But then I could, jot down stuff that, concerns or whatever and take that back to the team. And then, material. The bane of my existence is ordering material and getting material to the job sites. That's the one of the hardest things to do for our company, I think.
Well, let's talk about, I agree with you. Everything you said is absolutely spot on. But let's go on to the piece with the project management, because I think you really have dialed that on. I think the biggest sell for our company is you. When I think about it, because you do show up and she will fight tooth and nail for the customer, which, I mean, we all do, but like she will go out of her way to make sure the customer's getting treated right. Again, we all do, but she likes to add her own little spin on it.
I mean, you cannot argue with a woman's touch onto a project. Statistics show men want to work with women, women want to work with women. So, this is a man's world, right? So they make sure that I'm treated really well here, though, too, which is really important. So
yeah, but I just go back on the customer, especially on our new customer. Sorry, and I don't mean to cut you off. It is really important to push that out there, because like you have met with him every week for the last, bit of time, and it's like you guys have a great relationship. He makes coffee, you guys make a thing out of it. I think hands down this is probably our best experience with a custom home, and it's because of you. I think you're a big part of that, and I think if other people were listening to this and they're like, man, I'm kind of missing something in my company, and if you're like me and you know how to throw nails into wood, and you can kind of get some material there and mock stuff up, or you're a good carpenter and you could do good work, but there is another side of this that is missing. And I think especially sole proprietors or people that are starting their company off, and you're wearing all the hats, and I think
this one gets like left off because you're trying to do production, right? You're trying to get the job done. You're trying to get it. You're trying to just get there, and I don't have time to do anything else besides get the job done.
Well, I mean, you have to be a good steward of your client's money, and sometimes that's the hardest thing, and so like you're saying, I think we're talking about the same thing, but is that so? Like for a guy, we're just gonna do as fast as we can. We're gonna do the best we can, and like, sorry, I'm not listening to your feelings. Sorry, I'm not calling you back.
Custom home is actually, really revolved around feelings, because the customer, they've been dreaming and doing this for a lot of years before they actually put it in the ground, right? So I think the relationship between us and clients we should be best friends for a year.
Absolutely.
And they should feel comfortable to be able to come and talk to us. We should be able to, feel comfortable to be real with them. And, it's so far it is working. That business model is working, I think. So
well, I think that is probably one of the coolest things I got to be a part of with you and building this company, is that you do add that flair that that I completely, hands down, 100%. It is better with you here than with you not here.
Well, thank you. And, I'm actually starting to believe that. I've been here for a couple of years and, thought I was making it hard because I have to ask all these questions. Like, why are we doing that? What are you doing there? And I don't necessarily ask it sometimes to you in a kind way, more like a judgmental way. So, I didn't, a lot of times I wanted to quit, a lot of times I wanted to give up because I didn't want to make it worse. But I mean, I really just want to improve and make it a good product. Carpenters, they're so proud of what they do, and I get to hang my hat on their work, which is awesome. So I want to be a part of that too.
Yeah, no, it is 100% like that. And actually, everybody's out there and you're deciding to start a company with your wife.
Well, that's a whole nother story.
Yeah, it is a whole nother story. But the thing is that I think in doing that, you really know where you stand at in most of your life. And you have a lot of things to learn. There's a lot of cool things you get to learn along the way that you have to, you learn how to communicate better. You learn how to give in. You learn how to accept, right? You learn, it's great. Anyways, don't need to get caught on that a bunch, but the fact of it is that it is better working with my wife full time than if I didn't, because we've actually played both those roles. And this one is far better. If you could do it, I think is it, but also you need to learn how to give in, and you need to learn how to, like you didn't know this trade. You had nothing to do with it. So. And
I came from the top of my field in my last trade. So I went from being the best, or, I thought
she was the best. Okay.
To not knowing anything. And, it's been a great experience. It's been a great experience. And now I can't imagine doing anything else. Like, I love the relationships with clients. I love sharing the knowledge, I love talking about our company. I love growing our company. It's the most rewarding thing probably I've ever experienced.
Yeah, it was crazy. She had sold cars before this and was truly the top of her field. And then one day she's like, I'm coming to work. Right? And I was like, okay. But I knew.
I asked.
Well, yeah, whatever. We could call it what it is. But I knew if she put half as much energy she did into her last job, that we would be so much better for it. Of course, there's a lot of learning lessons and a lot of things on the way. And I knew that you have to give everybody grace. It's like even new employees, right? Like, I get them here, and when we start talking to them, I look at them and you have 1 year. You have 1 year of me showing, teaching, being nice. And then after that, you either you get after it or not, because you have a year to really get settled in. We are looking for people for the long haul. So in that instance, I mean, obviously some people take a little bit longer than others, but
I can't believe you got me on a podcast.
Yeah, that's great, right?
Yeah, that's actually quite surprising. But there's so many other small businesses out there that struggle like we struggle as well, right? Like, it's the ups and the downs and the highs and the lows, and riding that wave. It's just what we were built for, I think.
Yeah, it's not for the weak. Everybody out there that does construction knows that. It's crazy because everybody goes in and out. It is a hard job to get into. It's not something easy. If you're going to create a space for people to grow families, it takes a lot of work. It takes a lot of work on our end. It isn't just showing up every day and getting jobs done. And that is a very big part of it. I mean, that's what pays the bills. But there is also a part where we have to lay the foundation and the groundwork for people to have a job. It's actually the more deeper and the more you get into it, you have to gain kind of a love or a drive for it, because if you don't, you're not going to do it as well as you should.
Well, the hardest part for me is the learning, right? You could go to. I can't imagine what business management is like for a college degree. Like did I make a mistake by not doing that instead of just jumping in? And because I learned the hard way a lot of things. Like I was mentioning earlier, like insurance audits. The first year, I had no idea that how it worked at all. So if I would have taken business classes, I probably would have and not had to learn it the hard way. So, picking where you get your information and how you learn is, not always. It's not. I couldn't have went to school. I couldn't have went to school to do that. So now I have to rely on my colleagues, people in the same field, people trying to do the same thing, and I have to go out and find those people. Which in our community, they're everywhere, but everybody's kind of like scared to talk about it, or nobody has time. That they're just trying to, they're trying to survive. So. But it is important that we take a little bit of time and gather with our people like-minded and talk about what's working, what's not working. I feel like I've been able to give some people a heads up, like, hey man, this is coming down the pipeline at you. Be ready.
All right.
And I've learned a lot of things from a lot of other small businesses.
Yeah, I think. I mean, we just to move on a little bit, but I agree with you in a lot of ways. We all kind of learn by getting smacked in the face, like I like to say a lot. I think you gotta have tenacity. You gotta get up every day. You gotta do things that are hard. If you don't know, you gotta learn. If you don't know, you gotta find somebody. If you don't know, you gotta try and try and try. It's if you're gonna be successful, and if you deserve to be successful, you really need to be the hardest working person in the room. Because if you're not, you get lucky, you might get lucky, but you're not gonna keep it, and you're not gonna grow it. My biggest goal right now is I want to make everybody that works with me. I want to make them proud to be working here. I want them to be paid. I want them to be compensated very well. And I want them to have futures here. And
I feel like we've seen that already. Like we've seen the growth, and we've been on that roller coaster with the crew that we have, and we've seen people go on from here to better things, and that's great. A couple of people have gotten their contractor's licenses and are doing their own thing, and it's like that makes me proud too, right? Like they didn't stay here, but that's okay. Like they're still, maybe they got the fever and they went and were able to do it themselves.
Well, I mean, yeah. I think moving into just a quick future question, just so we can look back on this and maybe laugh. This is episode 2, if I can remember that. But where do you see us getting to by the end of the year, as far as okay, just to give you guys a little backstory, because me and her she wanted to actually do this windshield?
Behind the windshield.
Okay, behind the windshield. So if you guys want to comment and let me know that she's
the
smarter
Behind
than
the
me.
Windshield podcast, because I feel like a lot of our conversations happen in the car, driving from well, a lot of our conversations just happen when we're not working, right? But I think that would be I'll start my own podcast, the Behind the Windshield podcast.
Okay, anyways, so to catch you guys up, we talk a lot about our direction as a company, which has been really hard. Like, I spent months and months chasing commercial work alongside everything else. So I'm not saying I was only chasing only commercial work, but I was like bidding on everything there was to bid on. And then she kind of slowed me down, rightfully so. Like, I'm a little bummed out about it, but also at the same time, it's okay. I want a direction. And by the end of the year, my goal of this year is to have a direction. I want to have a solid direction that we can just dial in on.
I know the answer. Can I answer?
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. So I feel like I want to fully be able to say we're a design build firm. So before, we would just be a build firm and we'd be like, oh yeah, we can help you out. We can go get you here. We can go get you with these guys. But I would really, truly like to have my process dialed in to where you say, hey, I want to build a house. I can say, okay, it's going to cost this much. And then everything's already included, right? Like your plans, if you want an interior designer, if you want, just like everything's in there and it's all under our umbrella and not, having anybody walk out of here. Like, we can kind of, hold their hand through everything.
One-stop shop.
Full on design build, yeah. And then, of course, I want to go show up for the people that call and say, hey, you built our house, we want to add a deck. Hey, I saw your stuff, we're thinking about a new kitchen. Like, I always want to show up for those people because I don't know why. I just, it's cool work, it's good work. It's good work. It's again, something to be proud of, being a part of people's stuff. So
there you go. So by the end of the year,
I just got to pick and we're going to go for it, or what do you think?
Oh, well, so thank you for asking. See, this is the greatest part about having a business partner. You let her talk and then she goes, well, what do you think? And I don't know. I love that. I would build tiny homes if that's what I was supposed to do. I would love to build anything. As long as we're building something, I want to do it. The KPIs for me would be whatever direction we land in going. And that's kind of where I was going to. But I love that. I think that's a great idea, and I think we already kind of do that. So just so you know, like we were talking about earlier with her project, I think she is one of our best project managers. She's really our only project manager, really. But I think for the job that she goes and does, that client is hands down is treated the best that we've ever treated a client. So I'm saying that build concept, that design build concept, I mean, you've already geared us up for that. So if we can land more things like that and get more people, then of course we would do that. Well,
that's the thing though. I don't want to stretch us too thin, right? Like, my goal is to do just 2 custom homes a year, because those are, I don't want to say needy, but that's the word. Like, those people are needy. They need us and they need our attention. They need us to partner with them. So 2 custom homes a year is actually a lot. I wouldn't even mind just doing 1. So, because I do want to give it all the attention and them to have a great experience for people that are like that. But now there's customers out there, and I know they're there. This is what I want. It's all picked out. How quick can I do it? All right, cool. We can do that too. We can do more than 1 or 2 a year. It's just, they have to be the right customers to do it.
Well, it's just like our customer now, right? We planned on knocking that one out of the park. It wasn't a house that was out of our scope.
Lots of neat stuff in it, though. Lots of out-of-the-box thinking.
He pretty much took our contract about halfway through the build and was like, cool, let's just pay you up and pay you time and material. that customer was a really good customer, but at the same time, he understood that he liked us. I mean, what a great opportunity for us to go show who we are for the first 4 months or 3 months. And then he was like, dude, love your crews, love your people. We can build this together. And then he was like, now I'm going to change everything. So, rightfully so, I'm glad he
has the opportunity to do that.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, it worked out. And it the funniest version of a customer that picked us, because we didn't give him an estimate. He wanted to meet us. He went to our last customer's house, walked through their house, asked them a million questions, showed up at the home show, sat with us for a while. He just really wanted to get to know who we were. And then he was like, okay, I'm going to hire you. Give me a bid. We're like, oh, okay. So then that's how he did it. And I wish all of our customers came that way, because like, he got to know us personally and was like, yeah, I want you to build our place.
Yeah, there's a level of trust. And I think that's with any job, you have to trust each other. So that's what I can do is, and that's what the podcasts are about, right? Like, if we're out here talking about our business, like, there's just nothing to hide. There's nothing to...
Up front, out in the open.
Yeah.
We do all the social media so you can legitimately look at our job sites, look at our people, look at our things. They're all talking. It's not rehearsed. None of this that we do is rehearsed. None of this is planned at a whole bunch.
So why do you do it?
I do it because I do all the social media stuff. So if you go to Instagram, TikTok, or YouTube, I do that stuff. I'm looking for I'm looking for great employees. I want you, if you're watching this and you're like, man, I really want to go work for a good company, I want you to go look on there and look, hey, can I work with these guys? Do these guys seem like they're quirky enough for me? Or do these guys seem serious enough for me? Do these guys take their job serious? Go look. Go judge that for yourself. I don't tell anybody to do anything differently. I just say, can you guys please send us some videos of what you're doing? And they send those things. And that's why I personally do those. That is my marketing. I'm not really looking for other people to build custom homes that way. I don't think that's a good way to do it, but that's why I do it. The podcast, I just really want people to know who L&M Custom Builders are. This is an opportunity for me. I'm going to go through our whole company like this, and I'm going to have everybody sit there and talk and give their versions of what L&M looks like, because I think for all of us, it's a little bit different. But we all do show up here 4/10s and put into work. So, I mean, we are at the end of our time, but... Oh,
we had a time limit?
Yes.
I didn't know. I have like 10 other things I want to talk about.
Well, then I'll give it to you then.
No, I'm very vulnerable to do a podcast, right? Like, I am just telling everybody my innermost thoughts. That's not something I would ever thought I would do, but here we are.
And you want to do this behind the windshield?
Yeah, because I'm focusing on the road, right? And then I guess I'd really let loose.
Yeah, right? Because we have all the kind of crazy thoughts. Of course, if we did that, everybody else would probably make millions of bucks, because the greatest ideas do come from there.
Well, I'm excited. I thank you for asking me to come on the show, and I definitely want to keep doing it, right? Like, I want to maybe hit on topics and, specific topics that we can just, hash out. And
well, this is episode 2. So if we're at episode 367, right? And once we're on those kind of things, I think we could dive in. Again, we're L&M Custom Builders. We're located in Sutherland, Oregon. Our office number is
541-529-5162.
Right. And my personal number, if you want to reach out to me for whatever reason, is 541-784-6003. And you can look us up on Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube, and Facebook. She does the Facebook. I don't really touch that, but yeah, from our shop to you, I love that. I love all the things that we do here, and hopefully we can keep doing it for you guys. Again, thanks.